to the ADD Show, where we're not always right, but we're never wrong. As always, I'm Marc.
And I'm Hans, and welcome back, everybody. As you can see, we got Marc with us today, and we are moving into Week 7. Is that correct?
Yeah, Week 7 of the NFL season already.
Oh, man. We're almost halfway.
Getting heavy into buys.
Yep.
And you're starting to see... you can't even tell, like, it's not trends anymore. Like, It's not, like, you can't really get a sense of some of these teams. You get a sense of the Chiefs. The Chiefs are okay. Mm-hmm. They're still very good, but they're beating themselves a lot of times, and it's weird because you normally never saw that.
Especially not having an Andy Reid team. In all the years he's coached, he very rarely beats himself.
Right, and Mahomes is doing too much.
Yeah.
He's got to throw the ball away sometimes. But he just refuses.
They don't run the ball. They don't run the ball.
Right. Who are the Panthers? Panthers won their first 3 games. They lost their next 3.
Sam Darnold looks like the Jet Sam Darnold again.
Yep.
They just lost Farley. They're another corner, didn't they?
Dolphins,
Oh, no,
bad.
that was the Titans, sorry. But yeah.
Dolphins are bad.
Horrible.
Rams are pretty good. Broncos, who knows? The Browns. The Browns are, they're just injured.
Yeah.
They're really hurt.
Very, very hurt.
And, and then you got the Cardinals, 5-0, 6-0.
They're 6-0.
Buccaneers are up there. Cowboys are up there. 49ers are hurt still.
But you got to remember, they started off, 2-0, right?
49ers?
Yeah, and then they lost 3 straight, and the 3 they've lost straight is with
Garoppolo's been hurt.
In those 3 games, they had the rookie come in, so it tells you Garoppolo is clearly the better quarterback at the moment.
Yeah. Eagles are better than I thought, but they're not good, if that makes sense. They're scrappy.
I think if they finish the season the way they are and they strike on these 3 first-round picks they have, which all right now are in the top 10, and they draft properly, they can turn this thing around quicker than most teams' rebuilds.
Yes.
But again, the Eagles have such a bad track record with draft picks in the first round, so
yeah. But then you got like the Packers are playing really well, the Rams, the Patriots. I want to say the Patriots are better than what their record says they are. I know that's a contradiction because they're 2-4, but I feel they're better than what I feel. There's something there that's going to catch sooner or later. And I just think they've had a little bit of bad luck, but I think they're better than what their record is. I think they're better than 2-4. I don't think they're, like a 4-2, 5-1 type of record, but there's something there. And I saw something against, Mac Jones he has no fear. He has no chill. Like, he doesn't care. Like, the next play, if you make a mistake, he doesn't care. He has short-term memory, and he just goes out there and he balls. And he hates losing, and you can see that. And and that team's, I think, better than what their record says. I don't know how you feel about that. But
I think they're a good team. I think they're playing, out of all the rookie quarterbacks, they're playing the best football. I think it helps having the best coach to play the game, putting you in that kind of situation. I knew from the start, and I said it in the podcast last week with Nate, that was going to be a closer game than people thought. I knew it because Belichick plays tough. No matter who's on his team, no matter the caliber of players, he was going to play the Dallas Cowboys tough because he's a great defensive-minded coach.
Yeah.
On offense, the weapons they have are producing well. They still can't run the ball, which is a big liability right now. They're not running the ball as well as I think they should. It doesn't help. They have some injuries back there. Yeah. I still think their wide receivers have a high ceiling, but they're still living on the floor, and they haven't reached their potential yet. Mac Jones had a great game. That 75-yard touchdown bomb very easily could have been an interception, but he had no fear in throwing that. When I saw that ball thrown, I can only guarantee what Belichick's face looked like, and that was, oh, no.
That pick 6 wasn't his fault. That was a drop.
I know.
That was a drop.
It was a drop, I know. But on that 75-yard touchdown pass, I forget if it was Curse or if it was Hooker was running across the middle to stop that, and then he got past Diggs with, a minute or 2 left at the very end of the game.
Yeah.
If Malik Hooker would have committed to that, he would have completely speared the wide receiver and stopped. And then Diggs was like, it kind of looked like you were supposed to get him, and he was gone. And, that was a fantastic play that the wide receiver never quit. I think the Patriots are better. But if I had to put it on paper right now, they're the second best team in their division, and we were expecting them to be the third. Because the Dolphins haven't shown up. The Jets still look like the Jets.
Yeah.
But the Bills are clearly the better team. And if I'm the Patriots, I'm like, let's try to go 8-9. Let's try to go 9-8. Let's try to Let's try to get close to the playoffs and see what happens because the AFC is not really looking quite strong right now.
Not as strong as we thought it was going to
be. The NFC is looking a lot stronger than we thought.
The thing I want to ask you is, and it's, again, we don't talk about this stuff before we go on, so I'm sort of catching you off guard. In my opinion, McCarthy is the reason why you're not going to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, 100%.
He's going to cost you important games with horrible clock management and horrible just you're sooner or later you're not going to be able to overcome his dumbassness.
I think I agree with you because I was having this conversation on a Dallas page. Like, I don't understand what it is with a minute left just letting the clock roll down to 3 and kicking a field goal. Like, you have a minute with 30 yards to go. You get that shit in the end zone. It's the same
timeouts.
Thing. It's the same thing when it's Nate's dad, right, Jeff? It's the same thing we was talking about with the Bills today. Like, the Bills don't kick a field goal there. You go for it. You have the momentum. You don't take the field goal and go to overtime.
See, 4th and 1 at the 1 or 4th and 1 at the 4th
you
and goal
go
at
for
the
that.
2. I kick it. I tie it, and we have the momentum.
30 seconds left.
But we have the momentum.
I know.
So then we go into overtime with the momentum.
But
and that's where...
But I'm one of those people where McCarthy makes those decisions. He makes those 4th and 8 decisions on your side of the field. He makes bad decisions. He doesn't understand the clock with a minute left to go into the half. Like, a game ago, we were up by 17 at the half, a minute left. He takes a knee with 60 seconds. You get another touchdown.
Yeah.
You keep moving the ball. Like, I agree with you, and it almost makes me think that, like, I don't know what McCarthy's situation is, but you have a great offensive mind in Kellen Moore, who's clearly doing a great job. And I'm not saying they're going to get rid of McCarthy and use Kellen Moore, but, like, Kellen Moore makes better decisions, and I think McCarthy's just a placeholder because they don't think Kellen Moore was old enough to be a head coach. But I would rather have him do it because McCarthy's made so many bad decisions, and I just said this an hour ago before I came here. I said McCarthy's going to be the reason we're going to get in the playoffs, maybe win the first game, and he's going to not play the clock properly, forget to call a timeout. We have a minute to score. 40-yard line. He's going to let it go down to 0, kick a field goal, miss it. When you have 40 seconds.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you kicked a 50-yard field goal to tie the game. It was like 26 seconds left and 2 timeouts. And that, to me, is just idiotic.
Yeah.
And, Zerline just missed a kick that was closer than that.
And it was 4th and 1 when he kicked the field goal, right?
Right.
Like, it was 3rd and 20, I think, because of a penalty. You got 19 yards, 4th and 1. You put Zeke out there and go get that.
Right.
You put the ball in
gotten it all game.
You put it in Dak's hands. You put it in Zeke's hands. You have 2 great playmakers. I agree.
I just feel that could be the difference between the Cowboys having a special season and the Cowboys just having a good season.
Yeah.
But it's... This week 7 is going to be interesting.
There's a lot of interesting games.
I have a couple games that I haven't even picked yet because I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. I did pick Thursday night's game.
Okay.
This was before I knew. Chubb and Hunt are both out. Mm-hmm. Baker's hurt. And he's sooner or later this is going to come to bite him. If he tries to play Thursday, he could really hurt himself.
Yep.
Because they have backup linemen, they have backup everything. I know the Broncos are coming out here to play, and they're playing in the dog pound. I've got the Broncos, and this is my upset of the week.
Wow.
I got the Broncos. I just feel the Broncos can do enough offensively, and their defense can stop Cleveland enough. Your 3rd and 4th string running backs are going to play, which barely play. I know the 2 kids that are going to be playing, Johnson and Herbert.
Ernest Johnson, and the other one's like Herbert or Kerbert or something like that.
And they're playing, and they did play last week. But I just feel that this game the Browns are just too hurt. They're too hurt defensively. They're too hurt offensively. The offensive line is beat up. You're a running team, and your top 2 running backs are hurt, and your quarterback is hurt. And I don't care that it's his non-throwing shoulder. I don't know if you've ever thrown a football with a separated shoulder. And even if it's your off shoulder, everything hurts when you're rotating like that and you're throwing. So lose me with it. It's not bothering him.
Yeah, no, it's bothering him. You could see it in the game because he already injured it the week before.
Yeah, and he's going to get hit. And can he play the whole game? I don't think he does, and I got the Broncos winning this game.
So before I make my pick, I will say this because this is a make or break year. Does Baker Mayfield come back to the Browns next year?
Yes. And there was the reason why I'm saying this is because on Get Up this morning on ESPN, they are having this debate. And they're like, no. Like 2 guys were saying, no, you cannot bring him back. You cannot bring him back. And the other 2 were like, what are you going to do? Draft another rookie with this line, with this
class
team?
is
And
terrible.
this guy can win you a championship. You just can't, pay him. He's not going to be. You're not going to have to pay him. You're not going to have to pay him Mahomes money, Allen money, even Jackson money. You're going to have to pay him Tannehill money.
Kirk Cousins money. Even Kirk got a lot of money, but yeah.
But you're not going to have to pay him top tier money. You're going to have to pay him the second tier money or the third tier money.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to be able to command that much. And I feel if you can get him for Tannehill money and or a little less, yes, you re-sign him.
Yeah.
But if he's asking for Mahomes, Allen money,
no,
you let him walk.
Yeah. The reason I like to ask is because a lot of their games he plays very well, but it's very clear that he's not the reason they win these games. He is making good decisions. He's not making bad decisions. He's not the reason they're losing games.
Right.
Does that make sense?
But why would you want to bring in somebody else to learn the system, to put another year on Chubb, another year on this defense?
Because it may not be a Baker Mayfield. It could be a situation like who their coach is, bringing in a free agent in Kirk Cousins.
Okay, I mean...
Could be so. But I'm using an example. It could be one of the quarterbacks that are a free agent that are already on the market that are a little bit older. It could be a situation you lure in an Aaron Rodgers when he's a free agent. It could be a Garoppolo situation. All of them, in a way, they might like better than. I'm not saying I would, but I'm saying if you think your win now and you think your weakest link, other than injuries and wide receiver, is Baker, you need to replace those problems because their running backs are good. When healthy, their defense is top 5. They have a really good team.
That's another thing. Their defense is bottom of the league, and it's sort of like Washington in the sense that...
Except Washington's not as hurt.
Their defense was so hyped, and it's disappointing.
Yeah.
Where it's... Cleveland isn't a team that can outscore you every week. Every once in a while, they'll put up 30-plus points, almost 40.
But it's tough when 80% of their offense is run. It's hard to keep up with other teams when you can't throw
and,
well.
But when your defense is giving up so many points, I don't think you can blame this on Baker.
No.
But you can't re-sign him to top-tier money. You can't do the Mahomes, Mahomes, Dak. I'll even throw Dak in there because Dak makes a ton of money. Yep. Allen, Jackson's going to be asking for a ton of money. And, I say no to that, but yes to Tannehill money.
Okay.
So that's my thing there.
Absolutely. What we got next?
Well, you haven't picked yet.
Oh. I have the Broncos.
You have the Broncos?
I think Teddy Bridgewater's playing. I haven't seen if Jerry Judy's coming back or not. I think he's not, so he's still out.
Yep.
Is Cortland Sutton back, though?
Yes. Sutton, Patrick, Fant, and the 2 running backs are both...
So I think they have enough to play. I think their defense is healthy. And I think with the Browns being beat up, I just see if it isn't Baker, I don't know who throws the ball in that offense. I mean, if Baker's not there and you're using a third-string running back, this looks like Cleveland of 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I see this being an easy win. Even though it's at the dog pound, I get that. I see a way the Broncos pull this out.
Yes. Next game will be what I feel is one of the games of the week. And you may call me a homer for that, but Bengals-Ravens.
Okay.
I haven't picked it yet, so you go.
Oh, you're going to make me pick it. All right, so this one was tough for me. Baltimore is, to me, playing like the better team right now. They are finally firing on all 4 cylinders, depending on the car, maybe 8, whatever. They're firing right now. They're playing well. Their defense showed up. But this is the thing. What I saw in that Chargers game wasn't as much of, and this is going to sound like we know we don't like the Ravens, It didn't look as much, and I watched almost the entire game. It doesn't look to me that the Ravens smacked the Chargers in the face. It looks to me the Chargers came out flat on their own face.
And bad coaching.
It's terrible coaching decisions, bad. It just reminded me of McCarthy running that team in a way. Like the Chargers, 3 and out. They dropped balls. It wasn't even that the Ravens were blitzing. They dropped it. And I was like, the Ravens took advantage of it. But I've seen the Ravens have multiple bad games this year. They've had bad, they've had good at 5-1. They've had bad wins, right? The Bengals, to me, always seem to be in these games. They're fighting, they seem to do well. Burrow's doing fine. His throat's not contused anymore, whatever you want to call it. Mixon's healthy. The wide receivers are playing well. I'm going to pick the Bengals to win this game. Okay. I think the Bengals are going to go into Baltimore in a place I don't think they probably ever won a game in a long time. And I think they're going to pull off the upset. But I think it's going to be close. And I think Burrow's going to have like 350 yards passing.
All right. I think it's going to be close. I think the Bengals are I think the Bengals really have to decide. This is the time.
You have to figure out who you are.
Cleveland isn't as good as we thought they were. Those are winnable games now. There's a couple other games on their schedule where you looked at it and you said, nope, they're not winning. But now with the way the teams are playing, they're winnable games.
Yeah.
And the way this team is playing, where the thing I saw against a bad Lions team is they were unsatisfied with how much they left out there. Not, oh, yeah, we won on the road. We beat an NFC team. We normally don't do that. Like, we won on the road. Yeah, like,
That's a game they normally lose.
And what they said is we should have put up 50.
Yeah.
We were up 10-0 at halftime. It should have been 20-something to nothing. And they weren't satisfied. I like that. The problem is they're notorious slow starters. And you can't do that against the Ravens.
Yep.
And I don't know. I watched the whole Ravens game too. And what I saw was bonehead coaching on the Chargers, going for it on fourth down inside your own 25. Like, you don't do that. Like, you don't give them short field. You make the Ravens drive the field. They are capable of it. Don't get me wrong. I am seeing something out of this offense that is, how are they doing it? I don't know, but it's getting done. But
when they throw deep, they throw wide open interceptions to Kazir White. Situations like that last week, you have to force those situations.
Right, and I don't see their defense being as good as what people saw. Like, they weren't that good. This week, this past week, yes, they were very good, but I still think it was bad preparation, bad coaching by the Chargers.
Let's use the Chargers for an example real quick. They had a decent season last year. Herbert was calling the best quarterback of the class. No offense to Burke, because he was hurt. They're like, this is the guy, this is the dude. And you lead to a great start, winning the division, beating the Chiefs. Eventually, you're going to get that game, you get smacked back to earth. And it doesn't mean they got smacked. They came out flat. He came out looking like Trevor Lawrence does. Like, it just wasn't. Yeah, this fly is bothering the hell out of me. He and I think he got smacked back down to earth. But I think this is going to be. I'll let you finish. But I think it's going to be a really close game, and closer than people think, because like, oh, it's the Bengals and the Ravens. Like, this is not the same Bengals team. And I'm looking at it right here. They're 4-2. Like. People are like, oh, they're 4-2, they got lucky. Like, they've had some tough games. Yeah, other than the Lions, they're playing in a tough division, and they're playing well. Their 2 losses weren't bad losses. I still think their defense is getting better. I think their O-line is way better than I projected at the beginning of the year. And the wide receivers are playing well. If they keep this up without Burrow taking a step, or barring injury, this is a very cohesive unit on offense. And in a way, it reminds me of Dallas's offense. They're playing well. I think this is a game they can win, but can they go to Baltimore and win it? Or is Baltimore just going to do what they normally do and put up 30 on them? And that's what we don't want to see. So I stand by my pick with the Bengals. I'm not going to change it.
Okay, I'm picking the Ravens.
Okay.
Not because I want to.
Yeah.
Just because it's sort of like when I picked the Steelers against the Bengals a few weeks ago. This is it. This is it.
Yeah.
Right here. This is, are you there or are you not?
Yeah.
And I just feel they're there, but I don't feel going into Baltimore the way Baltimore's playing that you're there. Now, I do feel that our defense is a lot better than people give us credit for. They're a top 7 defense right now in the league. They've given up the 3rd least amount of points in the league. So I am looking at it as they're better than what I thought they were going to be. But this game right here, to me, is the game. If they win this game, watch out.
Yeah.
Because then all of a sudden they're believing even more.
Yeah.
And that's going to be
you and the
scary.
Ravens have the same record.
Right.
With the head-to-head.
You know, a team like this, it's sort of like Dallas. If Dallas lost 3 or 4 of their first games, I would say they're done.
Yeah.
But now they have that swagger, that hunger, that taste of it, and they run with it, and you see it. You saw it on Sunday against the Patriots. Like they were never, even though they were down 7 or 8, I think. Yeah. Was it 8?
I think it was something like that. I forgot.
But they made, like, you saw it. Like, they came out and then they came right back, and then they came right back again. And yes, you gave up the touchdown late. Yeah. To tie it up, but then you came back, and I mean, it was a back and forth game, but that's a game Dallas lost last year. And even when Dak was playing, that's a game you lost last year.
That's a game we normally would lose.
So that's why I'm like interested in this game this weekend. I'm sort of glad I'm working because I don't want to watch it because it's a game where I think I'm either going to have an ulcer or I'm going to have anxiety.
I get those games.
So I've got the Ravens, not because I think the Ravens are going to win, but because I don't think the Bengals Bengals don't win this game. They usually don't.
Yeah.
So Washington versus the Packers.
Okay.
Packers.
Yeah.
Washington has not shown me a thing that shows me that they're going to be able to, one, stop the Packers, or two, keep up with the Packers.
And they're in Green Bay.
So I've got the Packers. Washington, to me, I mean, if you listened to the show last week, I mean, I laughed, but I felt bad for Nate.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you've ever seen Nate angry in person.
Not really.
He does have this vein in the middle of his forehead that
I told
comes
him
out.
that I felt like I could feel it, and we're 3 hours away from each other.
But he's this team. This is bad.
Yeah.
And I don't know what fixes it, but playing the Packers doesn't.
No.
So I've got the Packers winning at home.
Yeah, I have the Packers winning too. Again, NFC East guy. I'm not picking them because they're not good. I'm not doing that because I'm a Dallas fan. Green Bay's the better team. You're traveling. Your defense is, don't worry, now 31st in passing. That's good. They're not last anymore, but I think the Dolphins are. It's like they're I don't know what it is. It's almost like they're broken. Something systematically is broken. And I know what Nate said last week. He's like, I'm not blaming the coach. I'm not blaming Ron Rivera. But I'm like, but at some point, who gets the blame? Is it the defensive coordinator, which I forgot his name, not Norv Turner?
Del Rio.
Del Rio, thank you. Is it Del Rio's problem? But it's
what Dallas did last year.
Yeah.
They're playing the wrong scheme for the personnel that you have.
Yeah.
You went out and signed free agents that play a certain way, and now you're playing an opposite way.
And I'm the kind of person where I've said it for many podcasts, like, scheme is important. That's why Dallas never brought in Earl Thomas. That's why Dallas doesn't bring in certain people. That's why people say they're targeting Joe Hayden. They're not bringing in Joe Hayden because it's a different defensive scheme. He's not fast enough.
He hasn't retired yet?
No.
Wow.
So the point is, like, with this, like, I don't know what it is about Washington. I watch a little bit of, like, they have decent depth. They have decent players, but, like, they lose this game. They're the second best team in the division in a way. They're going to be 4 games behind Dallas.
Yeah.
Like, that is, nobody's coming back from that, unfortunately. And, like, if it's not the Dolphins, is it the Giants? Is it Washington? Who's the biggest disappointment? And this is a huge game if they can find a way to pull it off. But people are like, well, Fitzpatrick's injured. I think you're better with Heineke. I think he gives you the better opportunity to win, but your defense is allowing 32.1 points a game.
Yeah.
Like, you can... People are like, well, they played the Chiefs and all that. I get that. I understand. But, like, even though it's the Chiefs, you didn't look good at all against the Chiefs. Like, at all.
You were up 13-10 against the Chiefs.
And then...
then you, lost 31-13 or something like that? So
yeah, you can't be doing stuff like that. So I got Green Bay. This is a win for me.
Okay, so Chiefs versus Titans. So I picked this game before watching last night's game.
Okay.
And I watched last night's game, and the Titans, to me, still are not there. But Kansas City is defensively, they could come down here and play your old high school and they'd lose.
Yeah, the high school got runner-up in states a few years, so they're pretty good. Don't get me wrong.
But I pick. So I'm going to stick with my pick. I have no confidence in this pick because I have a feeling Derrick Henry's going to run all over them again, and I have the Chiefs winning this game in Tennessee. This is a mistake, but I'm going with the better quarterback.
Yep.
And the quarterback, and I just don't think the Titans are smart enough to play the defense that you're supposed to play against the Titans, or talented enough on defense to play what the Bills did against them.
And their defensive line is good. I mean, okay, the defensive line of the Chiefs are good, but they're just getting beat up. They're just, I don't know what it is. And I'll tell you one of the issues. You said you picking the Chiefs, so I'll go. But I think for me, I've watched, 2, maybe 3 Chiefs games. I definitely watched the one against the Chargers, and I've seen a few of their games. I watched the Washington one. For me, the issue with the Chiefs is they are utilizing what Dallas did a year ago before Dak got hurt. Like, where is your running backs? I get they're hurt. I get CH is hurt. But still, like, you have a really good O-line. Like, the O-line's pretty decent. Why aren't you running the ball once, setting up play action, instead of just standing in the pocket? That's what they expect. They're going to expect Tyreek Hill, and they're expecting Kelsey. So why don't you run the ball once or twice like Dallas does? And I'm not trying to bring up Dallas here, but, like, they're a team that does it. And then get the play action. Seattle, run it once or twice. Get the play action set up. because your defense is going to expect another run. But boom, here comes Mahomes. They're just playing. And once in a way, they're playing like they're just their offense reminds me of a way of like a Tampa not a Tampa Bay offense, like a Patriots Tom Brady offense. Patrick Mahomes is like a statue. Mm-hmm. Why aren't you moving? I get he had off-season foot surgery, but come on, like you are only one game behind the Chargers. One, because they lost. You are one game from first in this division. This is a game you have to win. I'm going to stick with my gut for one of the last few times. I'm picking the Chiefs over the Titans because the Titans have one weapon. When wide receivers are healthy, they're still not popping off 100-yard games. A.J. Brown's been non-existent all year.
First game where he made an absolute difference. He had 7 catches for 91 yards.
Yep.
All of that was in the second half.
Yep, and really has done nothing since.
Yeah,
Julio really hasn't been that relevant.
No.
Other than Derrick Henry getting 3 touchdowns. If they can find a way to even slow down Derrick Henry, I still don't trust the wide receivers for Titans. I think this is a game the Chiefs have to win.
Okay.
If they win, we change the narrative. But I'm telling you, if they don't win this game, I'm not picking the Chiefs much more this year because they keep screwing me over every week in our picks. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs because I still think they're the better team. But the Titans, they're getting there.
Okay. All right. Probably one of the worst games
We've said this every week.
The Falcons and the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Dolphins coming off a bad loss.
Yeah.
A bad loss where Tua didn't even play bad.
Yeah.
As a Myles Gaskin fantasy owner, I am frustrated to all hell.
I traded for him and didn't
Because
mean nothing.
I play him, he does nothing. I bench him, he gets 30 points. I play him, they don't even use him. And I just don't understand. He's your second best player on offense, and you don't utilize him. If he can't run, throw it to him like you did the week before where he had 10 catches, 50 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't understand what this Dolphins team is doing. I understand both corners were hurt this past weekend, and they didn't play. I don't see how the Dolphins win. I've got the Falcons winning this game, and it's painful to pick the Falcons because I don't know how the Falcons win ever because they're that bad. But I've got the Falcons winning this game.
I got the Falcons too, even though at running back, I don't have a fantasy thing today because it's early in the week we're recording this, so I didn't have it set up. But I think this is a Mike Davis type game. The defense for the Dolphins is terrible giving up the run right now. You're going to have Ridley back. You're going to have Gage. Everybody's there. Yeah, your defense is bad, but I think the offense looked better without Tua in some ways. Like, it's hard for me to tell. Like, he looks good, but, like, you're not utilizing your running backs when Tua's there because he's running. Yeah. Like, I don't know how to explain it either. The Dolphins are just bad or broken. You have a coach, Brian Flores, who's a great defensive mind. You're ranked 32nd in defense. Mm-hmm. Like, what are you doing? Like, even offensively, I look and I'm pointing my finger going, that was the stupidest call I've ever seen in my life. So I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to go with the Falcons because I think they're the better team, and that's saying a lot because they're not much better.
Okay.
But I got the Falcons.
All right. Jets at Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Patriots get their first win at home this week. Patriots are the better team. Mm-hmm. Mac Jones is playing well. We talked about the Patriots earlier. Jets don't show me anything. Mm-hmm. I don't think the Jets are very good, and I think the Patriots will intercept them again 3 or 4 times because Belichick just does that against rookies, and Patriots win.
Yeah, I have the Patriots winning this game as well, but I don't have them winning it because of Mac Jones. I think he'll play well like he does. It's Belichick. Belichick owns the Jets, and Belichick owns rookie quarterbacks. Zach Wilson's not playing terribly. He's not playing great. He's right in the middle of the rookie quarterbacks right now. And to me, this is a game he has a chance to do well against because that defense of the Patriots really isn't that great. Mm-mm. They're not that great. They have a decent player that they just traded. So like they're okay, but at the same time, the Pats win this game because the Jets are bad.
Okay.
If the Patriots don't win this game, everything you said in the beginning of the episode is just you might as well throw it out the window.
Yes, definitely. I will 100% burn this episode.
Well, I do the editing, so no, you won't.
Right. Next game is Panthers-Giants. Probably one of the more frustrated fan bases right now is the Panthers.
Yep.
But it just goes to show you how important CMC is. Chuba Hubbard is good. He's not CMC.
No.
And Sam Darnold is playing decent, but he's making bonehead decisions all of a sudden.
Because he doesn't have the number one running back. Well, used to be the number one running back in fantasy and in the country. You don't have him.
Yeah.
That safety net is gone in the backfield.
But I still believe in them more than I believe in the Giants. And I got the Panthers winning this game. I think this is going to be actually a blowout. I think the Panthers go into New York and blow them out.
Wow.
Yes.
So I'm actually different. It's weird. I'm picking the Giants here. The Panthers are still beat up in the secondary. Their defense is good, but the offense has been moving backwards every week. I just don't see them getting better. Since they got smacked by Dallas, they've come down to earth every game. CMC's not healthy. Now you don't have Chuba Hubbard. So you're going with a third-string running back because he's likely not to play this weekend either. I think he's listed as out. That's another weapon gone. And since CMC's been hurt, they don't look right at all. Even when Chuba's now out, like you're losing that person. And for some reason, the Giants are throwing for 450 yards every game. If Saquon plays, which I don't know if I don't think he's still out, they're finding ways to get yards. Kadarius Toney is still a game-time decision. Shepard's playing. Galladay's playing, I think. So you have all these players playing. The defense is okay. For some reason at home, I think the Giants find a way to get a win here.
Okay.
It's just a gut feeling. This is not my upset of the week. But
Have we gotten to your upset of the week yet?
Or my lock in either one.
I haven't gotten to the lock yet, but...
No, I don't have my upset yet.
All right.
I just think this is a game the Giants win, but I think it's going to be ugly.
Okay.
I'm thinking like 17-14 game, like not pretty at all.
All right. Eagles-Raiders.
Yeah.
All right. I want to go into the reason why, because you said something. I have no idea why he picked the Raiders. You said that on the show. I picked the Raiders because I agree. Are they a very good team? No. Are they a good team?
Well,
yes.
you explained it in the group chat.
And I just feel that they came out and they are away from home. You technically don't have to be at home watching the news. You can be in the hotel. You don't have to pay attention. And the Broncos are okay. They're not good, but they're okay. And the Raiders just had to, and I just felt like in a time like this is where a team comes together and says, hey, we're okay.
Yeah.
Do I think the Raiders are going to make the playoffs and make a run? No. I think they're still flawed in many ways. Do I think they're going to beat the Eagles this week? Yes. Because I just cannot wrap my head around who the Eagles are. The Eagles looked very bad in 3 quarters against Tampa Bay. Very bad. And then it's either Tampa Bay just took the foot off the gas or
it's what happened,
something.
A lot of teams
and
do
then
that.
they come back and they score 22 points and they make it close but I just have the Raiders winning this game because I think the Raiders here at home are a better team.
Yeah, I have the Raiders too, and I think it has 2 things to do with this. Even though the Raiders, excuse me, enjoy it, guys. It was a good yawn. The Raiders, to me, though, is, even though they have a lot of stuff going on in the news, which is kind of starting to become a back burner thing, like they'll move on from it quickly. The Raiders are the better team. I think they have an identity. The Eagles don't, and I don't want to go as far as saying dumpster fire. We'll take it back. I think the Giants have that term, and I think Washington gets that term now. The Eagles have had flashes of good. They really have. And sorry, Washington fans, you have too. But I think with the Eagles here is they don't run the ball well at all with their running backs, and you have a good running back. Their wide receivers aren't playing the best. I put a thing in the chat earlier today that Trayvon Diggs on defense for Dallas has more yards, touchdowns, and receptions than their number 1 wide receiver has. Or number 2, sorry, in Jalen Reagor. They don't have any offensive prowess. Their defensive line is their best skill set, and they can't stop tight ends. So you ain't going to stop Darren Waller, excuse me. I have the Raiders winning this game. I'm starting to get faith in them. I think they're a good team. The only reason I picked them last week is because of the stuff in the news.
Yeah.
I thought it would affect them, and it didn't. I was wrong, and they looked really good. I think the Raiders are going to win this game easily against the Eagles.
Okay. All right. Next game is my lock of the week. I'm just going to say one word. Well, I'll say who's playing and then one word. Lions versus Rams. Matt Stafford is going to put a foot in his old team's ass.
Yeah.
And it might be a college like Alabama versus Southern Louisiana Tech Methodist Church School
you remember
of the deaf.
Well, you got to remember the SEC plays 3 of those games a year.
Yes,
they all play 3 cupcake teams.
I could see the Rams putting up 70.
Oof, you think they will put up that much? When's the last time a team scored that many? That's what I want to know.
I don't think ever.
They'll put in the backups.
But the Rams are going to destroy the Lions.
So this is my lock of the week. I almost picked a different game as my lock of the week. Isn't that bad? I won't say who. Washington, you know. You got to think about it. Green Bay and Washington. I mean, that's kind of a lock too. But here's my lock. I have the Cardinals. I'm sorry, wrong team. The Rams. The Lions are bad. They keep getting such heartbreaking losses, but like he even calls out his quarterback. Like coaches don't ever call out quarterbacks on live TV. Like you should do that in the locker room. But he's like, yeah, what do you mean do? Golf is bad.
And I just want to say, the debate should be over for who the Bengals should have taken.
What do you mean?
Because Hendrickson, the free agent signing for the Bengals, absolutely destroyed Penny Sewell.
Yeah.
And Jamar Chase had the best block in the game the other day.
I think
Andy had 90 yards.
I think play, did you guys sack? Did he get a sack on golf? Hendricks?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that was the first sack Panay's given up all year.
Yeah,
himself.
But he destroyed and Chase has just been offensive rookie of the week. But that block where he sprung Mixon for the 40-yard touchdown on the pass, I'm just sorry that story is over.
I will say though, the only small tidbit of that is if Sewell was there, I still like the Chase pick. I think it's better now. I was arguing it at first because I knew you need line help. The way the line is good enough, I think adding a fifth stud piece, he'd be better playing for you than the Lions. He's the only piece that's good on the whole Lions team, right? Mm-hmm. So that makes him look even worse than he is. But like, imagine him on like a Dallas team, or imagine him on the Bengals, or imagine him on the Ravens. Like, he'd be a lot better of a player. But I think Chase was the right decision. Okay. Also, real quick, I have the Rams winning this game. I have them putting up 30 on the Lions. I have a 30-point favor here. So.
All right. The next game was close for me to pick lock of the week.
Yeah.
Texans, Cardinals. Texans won't hold a candle to them.
No.
Cardinals will win.
Yep.
Cardinals have so many weapons on offense, and it's different this year than last year.
Yeah.
Last year, the Cardinals were winning, but it was weird. Like, you sensed a fall-off coming, or you sensed they weren't as dominant.
Kyler Murray played okay. He had up and down weeks.
And now he's not running as much, which I personally like.
I do too.
He's throwing the ball better than I ever thought he could throw the ball. But this team is going to destroy the Texans.
Yep. I also have the Cardinals winning against the Texans. We can go to the next one.
So Bears versus Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
That offense from the Buccaneers is ridiculous. Tom Brady has the most passing yards in the NFL. I think he's going to put up another 400. And the Bears are down to their third string running back. The Fields, he shows flashes. Mm-hmm. And I think he's going to be decent. He shows flashes. But this Bears team is this is the dumpster fire. Mm-hmm. This is a dumpster fire. The Bears are a dumpster fire.
You think they're worse than the Giants?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I think the Bears organizationally are worse.
I think the Bears have their quarterback of the future, though.
Yeah,
I just don't think
I think
do.
Montgomery is a very good running back.
Yeah.
I think but you're going to lose Robinson in the offseason.
Of course, 100%.
But I feel that the Buccaneers are going to beat up on the Bears.
I have the Buccaneers winning this game too. Their offense is too good. Even on defense, the Buccaneers have been really good at stopping the run. I don't think passing-wise, yes, Fields has been good. Me and Nate talked about it. He is a great passer. They're letting a lot of yards to the pass, but still, third-string running back. Justin Fields tries to run. Buccaneers are doing good at stopping the run. They're doing good at short 5-10-yard rushes, but they're letting 80-yard bombs. I just see this being a game. I could see the Bears scoring 20 points. But I could see the Buccaneers scoring 35. Mm-hmm. 100%. I could just see this. So I got the Buccaneers winning this game.
All right. Remember how I told at the beginning of the episode I hadn't picked a couple games?
Yeah.
So this is the last one I haven't picked. So I want you to go first because I'm leaning one way. Mm-hmm. But again, we're doing this so early. I don't know who's playing.
Yeah, we're doing this on Tuesday. You guys will hear this on Friday.
Yeah.
It's the only day that worked for us this week. So,
and I wasn't missing another episode. So
yeah, no, I don't blame you.
Colts versus 49ers.
So I picked. I won't say what I picked yet. I'll start with the Colts because they're on the left side because they're the away team. The Colts, to me, I want to use the word are getting there, but I don't know how long this bus is. Like, how long of a drive is this? Is it a 10-minute drive or is it a 2-season drive? The Wentz project, where are we at here? What's going on, right? Mm-hmm. Your offensive line is healthy. You're getting, I forget the wide receiver who's overrated and injured every other year. T.Y. Hilton, I love him. But, like, what are you? What have you become? Are you Odell now? Like, we don't know who you are. Your defense is getting exposed. Your running backs what are you doing? Is it Naheem Hines? I'm just trying to figure out what they're doing here. To me, though, even though the 49ers are hurt, they started off 2-0 with Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt. Trey... What's his name? What's the quarterback's name?
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance, thank you. I forgot his name. He lost 3 straight games. He's not playing that well. But Jimmy G, I wrote next to it, question mark. Jimmy G's back, we think, this week. Elijah Mitchell, the running back for them, is playing really well. I don't think he's a rookie, but I think he's in his second year. He's playing really, really well. I have the 49ers winning this game.
Okay.
I have them winning this game against the Colts because I still don't think the Colts are firing on all cylinders. I think the 49ers defense can get to him. I think they have the offensive weapons. I think Kittle's still out, I believe. But I just find this being a very low-scoring game. I don't think it's going to be the most interesting. But if Jimmy plays, I think it gives him the best chance because I think Jimmy G's better than Carson Wentz right now.
Okay. If Jimmy plays, I think this is a different game.
Yes.
But I think the Colts have figured it out.
You think so? Okay.
I think they figured it out. And they're, again, a bonehead play away from winning against the Ravens. You should have beaten the Ravens. You collapsed against the Ravens. The Ravens beat you, but you were up by lead. 19 in the fourth quarter, and you don't give up that lead.
What are you, the Falcons?
But I think the Colts have figured it out offensively.
Yep.
Now, defensively, I don't think they're as good as advertised.
Yeah.
But I don't think the 49ers are as good offensively, so I don't think that's going to be a liability.
Yeah.
I think I'm talking myself into the Colts. I will pick the Colts.
Okay.
I don't have 100% confidence in it, but I think they're too talented all around to be the record that they are. And I do think they turn it around and they figured it out a little bit. Again, I don't know if they figured it out and they're going to be a 7-10 team, a 9-8 team, an 8-9 team, something like that. But I think they figured it out. They're better than 2-4, I feel. And I have them beating the 49ers.
Okay. So
Saints Seahawks. That's Monday night, actually. This is the last game of the week. Seahawks showed me absolutely nothing. I don't even know if Alex Collins is playing.
They don't know yet. But if not, Rashad Penny's back this week.
Yeah, so
that's a huge. I mean, I still think Rashad's Penny is better than
Alex Collins. Alex Collins, I won't lie, he saved me in 2 different leagues.
He did. I saw that. He did very well.
So it's but I will say this: the Saints are coming off a bye. The Seahawks don't know who they want to be their quarterback. And
they have no other option.
Geno played well, but he's got enough. Like 2 strip sacks by T.J. Watt. You know, I don't. And I just
T.J. Watt.
I don't. I don't believe. I don't believe in Geno. I've got the Saints winning this game. Close because it's going to be in Seattle, but I just think this is Seattle's year where they're going to be exposed. Even if Russell's playing, they've been getting exposed. So I feel that this is where the Seahawks get exposed even more this year, and I got the Saints winning.
So this is my upset of the week. I'm picking the Seahawks for the last time. I gave
Were they
them
not favored?
No.
Really?
Saints are a 3-point favorite.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I thought the Seahawks were favored too. That's why I had a different upset picked, but I changed it about an hour ago. I'm picking the Seahawks for a few reasons here. And again, I think the Seahawks are a bad team. I do. I think the Saints are 3-2, but I think the Saints are a bad team as well. I think they know who they are, but this is the thing. He got thrown to the Wolves. Excuse me. Oh, I'm about to lose your microphone. After Russell got hurt, and they had an interception at the end that lost him the game that was not on the quarterback. Last week's 2 strip sacks. You can't be doing that.
Right.
I'm not giving him any excuse being a West Virginia fan here. Understand that. It is T.J. Watt. The dude is an absolute phenom.
Yes.
Let's be clear. I don't think the Saints have the defense that the Pittsburgh Steelers do. I do think having 5 years behind Russell here, getting another week with the offense, I think you have the better offense than the Saints. I don't think your defense is better. I'm looking for a high-scoring game, and I think this is the game I could see Geno playing a little better, not having a defense up his arse every play. I mean, if you go back, and I watched the game because I was excited to see my boy play, I was. Every play they were in the backfield within seconds, to the point that Pete Carroll grabbed 4 offensive line by the helmets and said, "What are you doing?" You could read his lips. What the F are you doing? Geno was getting beat up all day. So I think the Saints defense a little better. This is my upset. But if the Seahawks don't do it, even though I'm a West Virginia fan, Geno, I'm sorry, no more. I think they can win this game. And this will be big for the fan base. They're at home. It's hard to win at the 12s. So it's my upset of the week, and we'll go from there.
All right. So those are the picks. I will say the Vikings are off. The Vikings did come through for me.
They did.
But I did text out in the group. when they gave up that late touchdown and 2-point conversion to get the game to overtime, I'm like, this is the most tough luck loss team I have ever seen. But they did pull it out. Still think they're better than advertised. I think they figure it out even more. I do feel that Zimmer gets fired at the end of this year, though.
I mean, think about it,
because they're better than their record. They're on paper. Yeah. They're really good.
I mean, we could potentially foreshadow a big game for next week. They're both on bye weeks. Dallas plays Vikings next week.
Yeah,
at Vikings.
And
that's a big game.
And it's a big game, but at the same time, it's right now, I don't see how Dallas loses.
No.
But again,
we'll say that for next week. Yeah. But I was just saying, you brought up the Vikings. I'm like, they have an off week. They have a lot of chance to get their things together, get back on track. Yep. They have a big game at home in a week, so we'll see what happens then. But you got the fantasy stuff.
Yeah, so we are 6 weeks into the season, so we're pretty much halfway through the season.
Yep.
And we have 4 different leagues that we're both in. And what we'll do is I will go over the ADD show since it's our inaugural season for the ADD show. It's not a keeper league. I will have to say this is my most disappointing league. And it's kind of sad because both of us are towards the bottom.
Yeah,
we're not
been
in the
pretty
playoffs. And we started the league, and it's pretty bad. But I will say this. Logan is 5-1. He's leading the league. Mike, Chan, Steve, Kevin, and Nate are all 4-2. Mm-hmm. So the top 6 seeds are all right there. You've got Justin at 3-3 in 7th place. And then you've got me, you, Kyle, and Jay at 2-4. And then you've got the Menace. Mm-hmm. You got him at 0-6.
I tried to make a trade with him last week.
Did you?
It was a really good trade. I offered the farm up for Calvin Ridley.
Kyle reached out to me the other day on Facebook and asked me about a trade.
He did. He asked me too.
And he said, "What do you think of this trade?" And it was Taylor and Hines for Hubbard and CMC.
Mm-hmm.
Chubba Hubbard.
Oh, you did say Hubbard. Yeah. For some reason, I was like, who's Hubbard? Gotcha.
And so I told him, here's the thing. Hines is, I think, better than Hubbard. And Taylor is better than Hubbard. Right now, those are the 2 players that are actually playing. Mm-hmm. Hubbard was playing, but CMC's out. If it was a keeper league, I would have done the trade in a second. Mm-hmm. Because I still think if CMC can play a season, he's the best running back in football. But I actually told him not to take the trade or to give up CMC and Hubbard to get Taylor and Hines. I don't know if he did it. I haven't looked or anything, but
who was it?
I can't even remember what league it was in, to be honest with you.
No, he didn't make the deal because he still has Saquon on his team.
Okay. But that league there, I'm not impressed with my team, so I don't see me making a run to make the playoffs. I will say I have to tell you we're in 4 leagues. We're in 4 different leagues with Nate, Logan, and Chandler. Okay? 4 different leagues with those 3. And I have to tell you, I'm going to say it, and fuck off, Chan. just fuck off. I go, your teams are really good. You've owned me this year, and it pisses me off because Chan is in 3rd in the ADD show. He's in 7th, but he's got the 3rd, 4th most points in wet booty. And then he's in 1st and he's in 2nd.
Yep.
And he's 6-0 in one league.
I just want to point out one thing real quick. This has been 2 different years back. So 4 years. Year 2 I did this. Year 4 now I did this. This is different leagues. I've had Mike Evans in multiple leagues in multiple years. Fuck Mike Evans. I'm not drafting you ever again. Every week he gets 4 points. He's the reason I'm losing every week. I'm losing every game by like 10, and he was projected 30. Gets 4, 2 catches. Yeah. Like, what is going on? I even knew at the beginning of the season, Antonio Brown. Go after Antonio Brown. And guess who didn't? I was like, nah, Mike Evans. Antonio Brown ain't shit. He's going to be suspended. Mike Evans, every week, no points. He's ranked, what is it? He got me 4 points last week. Yeah, great. He's doing great. Go ahead. Sorry, finish. I was mad. So
that league is interesting, though, because the scoring is really low.
Yeah.
But I will say this, that you've scored close to the top. You're top 5 in scoring, and you're in 8th place.
Yep.
But you've also...
I have Tom Brady.
You've scored 803. You've given up 802. So
I told you I've had some really close losses, man.
So that's ADD show. Logan and the 4-2 teams. They're running away with it right now because 6 teams make the playoffs there. I will say Steve, Jimmy's Chicken Shack, his team's coming on. Chan's team's coming on. Mike out of nowhere. Mike Brennan is an awful fantasy football player in the past.
4 straight wins, right?
And
3?
he's got his team in the ADD show at 4-2, and then in another league we're in with Mike, he's 5-1.
I know.
Mike's never sniffed that kind of winning record.
I don't even think he sets his
football.
lineups, and he's still winning.
But it's very interesting. This league that we're going to talk about next, which is our Wet Booty League. This is the league we started last year. It's got an individual defensive player.
Yep.
It's 12 teams.
I do want to say something before you get too far.
Yeah.
Just so anybody who's listening understands the Wet Booty League, it was a term created to describe Daniel Jones.
Go ahead. Yes. Okay. And it took off. We use it for everything now.
Yep.
I will say in this league, I'm in the playoff hunt. You are not.
I don't want to talk about it.
I will say Hans is not. He's struggling in this league hard. But there are 6 teams at 4-2. Mm-hmm. So the top 6 teams are all 4-2. And then you've got 2 teams, me and Chandler at 3-3. And then Kyle, Malik, and Brandon are 2-4. And then coming up in the rear, we've got Hans at 0-6.
Can we talk about it?
I do believe you've been eliminated from playoff contention.
Can we talk about it real quick? This happened to me last year. Christian McCaffrey, can you fuck off? Like, can you stop blowing your knees out? You're turning into Saquon. Like Caucasian Saquon. Like, what is happening? Listen to this. I just want to say this real quick. Like, on my IR, we have 4 IR spots. I mean, they're filled. Chris Carson, George Kittle, and McCaffrey. My 3 starters are injured. I'm going to give you an idea because I did this to be smart because the other quarterbacks I don't trust. Starting lineup this week. Ready for this? Geno Smith at quarterback. Brandon Bolden at running back. Myles Gaskin at running back. Jonnu Smith at tight end. Henry Ruggs in my wide receiver 1. Tyler Boyd wide receiver 2. Matt Prater. I have no defense yet. I have a waiver for them. I have no defensive player yet. Waiver out for that. And then on my bench, I get Sonny Michel. Thought he was going to be good. Not. Mike Davis. Not good. Josh Gordon. Got to pick him up. He went to the Chiefs. Nothing. What's this dude's name? DeAndre Carter. You DC fans might know who that is. Fucking scrub. I don't have anybody. Jerick McKinnon. I got him. Bet they won't use him. Sorry, the ADD this Web Booty League has pissed me off because I have Josh Allen, like I have CeeDee Lamb, like I have a good team. But here's my problem: I got shafted last year in this league. I'm getting shafted. I had the number 1 pick again this year. I had it the first year and this year. Yep. This ain't my league, man.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, you suck.
I suck in this league.
You're the only team that's given up over 1,000 points.
Yeah,
it's not like your team gives up the points, but they've It's a very competitive league, though. As you know, the top 6 teams are 4-2, and then you have 2 teams at 3-3. It's a very competitive league. The scoring is very competitive. I'm looking forward to the rest of that league. This league, this is the league that you started a long time ago. Yep. We call it the Family League, but I do believe there's only 4 people that are family in this league, so it's still the Family League. This is a league where Chan is just absolutely freaking dominant.
Yep.
And Mike. So,
and if you look at his team, it's really not that good.
Mike's team or Chandler?
No, Chandler.
Oh yeah, no, it's not. But
look at his 2 starting running backs.
But look at Mike's team.
I know.
Mike's team is very good. And so we've got Chandler at 6-0, Mike at 5-1. And then you have 3 teams, me and you and Nate at 3-3.
Can we talk about something real quick? I'm pretty sure I messaged Michael before the draft. Mm-hmm. I think he auto-drafted. I'm 90% sure he was not there for the draft.
I don't think he was there for most of it.
Yeah, he was there to the end, I think.
So
And he's in first. It's just bullshit. But go ahead, keep going.
My fantasy app won't load. So, and then you have the bottom 6 through 10 is 2-4.
Yep.
It's very competitive still, even though the top 2 teams are technically running away with it.
Yeah.
It is very interesting to see.
Last year, the 4th place team won this league, so it could happen again.
Yes.
That is a thing to think about.
I will have to say, I'm the 2nd highest scoring team. I have bad luck in this league. Mm-hmm. Every year I've been in this league, I feel like my team is really good, and I mean, I don't know if you have it up. You can read off my team. I do believe I traded for CeeDee Lamb and Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt is now on the IR.
Yep.
And then CeeDee Lamb's on a bye this week. But
Yep. You have Murray, Jones, Gibson, Moore, Chase, Waller, Pitts. 2 great tight ends, by the way.
Yep.
Amon St. Brown, Patriots defense, who's good this week, but I wouldn't keep him longer than that. Brandon McManus. Then you have Burrow on your bench. Your bench is kind of weak. But then you have Darrell Williams, who's injured. Bengals defense on your bench. Kareem Hunt's injured. He's on IR. So, yeah, you're getting bad luck like I am in the Web Booty League. Just everybody's hurt.
Yep.
And this is where the bye weeks start. Again, in 2 of my leagues, I have a lot of Dallas players. So I expected this week to take a big L. But luckily, those players are providing for me. So that is good.
yes. So that's that league. And then the what I call the important league. This is the league that started it all, League of Extraordinary Legends. You and Austin have been in it for what? 4
This is my
years?
5th year.
5th year? So this is your 5th year. I am going to say I'm impressed with you this year because usually you suck in this league.
Yeah, it's been pretty tough. These are some good guys. I'm finally moving. I can see myself in the playoffs right now.
Yes. And Xander won it last year, and his team is dirty again.
He's got 3 players on a bye, though.
Yes. So I actually play him this week.
Lucky.
And he's got some big names on a bye, which I'm very happy about. But Xander's at 5-1 in this league, and Chan, Malik, and myself are 4-2. Chan and Xander, Xander's team scored 1,098 points. Chandler's team scored 1,068. They're the only teams that and you scored 1,039. And you're 3-3. Nate's 3-3. Danny's 3-3.
I love my team in this league.
You've got Justin and Austin bringing up the rear at 1-5. I am going to call Justin out. Justin, I know you listen. I'm calling you out. You had a guy that was out in your lineup this week. We took away a draft pick because you tanked last year. We took away percentage points for tanking. I don't want to see you do it again. Austin, talk about bad luck. I feel bad. Like this kid, he's 1-5, and talk about IRs.
He has 4 open bench spots though.
Because everybody was hurt, and I told him he's got to start dropping some of those hurt players.
His whole bench is projected to score 4 points this week.
Yeah, he's just had some bad luck, but he had a win this week, and he was so excited. It was funny. He kept texting in the group.
Who do you end up beating?
I'll tell you in 2 seconds. He beat Danny. 154 to 149. And Danny had a chance because Danny had Noah Fant go off for 24 points. But he ended up winning. I beat you this week, which was a big win. Again, Alex Collins, thank you. Had a big game. And Myles Gaskin, F off. Just have to say that. But and Cole Beasley, I start him 2 weeks in a row. He gets 4 points, and I bench him.
Sanders took him over,
and he gets 21 points. So I hate you. But
I really want to talk about T. Higgins real quick. Can he actually be valuable in fantasy for once? That'd be great. What's going on with him? I thought he'd be relevant. He's not.
Here's the
he's relevant in football, but not in fantasy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's James White.
But he's playing what he needs, and it's just like Tyler Boyd.
Yeah.
The offense is so spread out that each guy is going to have 4 to 5 catches, 3 to 5 catches, 3 to 6 catches. But the problem is Boyd and Higgins are possession wide receivers, where Chase is going to have that 40, 50-yard bomb because they're going to throw it deep to him 4 or 5 times a game. And
it's my bench. Look at all the bye weeks.
bye week.
It makes sense.
So it's very interesting, but I have to check. I do think I play Xander this week, and I hope I do because I do. So he's got, let's see, he's got Prescott on a bye, Keenan Allen on a bye, Mike Williams on a bye, and then his bench isn't very good. So I have confidence. I have confidence in my team this week, even though I got to get out Myles Gaskin. I don't know who I'm going to put in for him because I don't have a backup running back.
We'll better get to the waivers.
But look at
where's your waiver pick? I wonder where it's at.
I don't know. How do you look at that?
You go back and you go to league.
Carson, Thomas, and Kittle are on my IR.
Go to waiver order.
Go to league and waiver order.
Yep.
All right, league. Oh, waiver order. All right.
Yeah.
I am 5th.
So if no one above you goes for the same player, you'll get him.
You're the number 1.
I know.
That's bullshit.
I don't ever use the waivers, but I will this week.
I use the waivers all the time.
That's why you're lower. The more you use it, the higher to the end you are. That means Danny and Nate and Austin have been using the waivers like crazy recently, picking up free agents and shit like that. I think that's how that works.
But fantasy, now you're getting into the bye weeks, and this is where Chandler even said this is where championship teams are made.
Yeah, in fantasy.
Because you have the bye weeks come in, and this is where you have to really make sure you use the waiver wire and or your bench is solid.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of big names injured. A lot of big names injured. This is a big
injury year.
Where you have to rely on lesser names. But there's also those players that sort of like Jefferson last year. Or I'm trying to think of a player last year that hit gold that Beasley last year.
There was another one, James Robinson.
And you had James Robinson. You have to find these guys. And I do feel like, Jacksonville, they're not that good, but Marvin Jones, Robinson, they're relevant fantasy players, and they're the reason why they beat Miami this past week. So you really have to be good on the waiver wire. You really have to be good with trades. There's been a lot of trades.
The waiver wire, and I'm not talking Thursday waivers. I'm talking midnight, 2:00 on a freaking Tuesday night. Before they process Wednesday. Can you get there before everybody else if you're 3rd or 4th and you're going to get that guy? Like there's a guy in waivers right now I'm number 1 for, and I'm going to go after him. Obviously, he's a free agent running back, and he's the only one projected more than 5 points. He's projected 16 this week. So I'm obviously going to go after him because I need running back help. But that's the kind of thing. If you don't know how to use waivers, you don't really have to trade. But if you don't know how to use the waivers, you don't know how to pick up players, you don't know how to read for players, you're going to lose games. Austin loves football, but at the same time, Austin doesn't do the waivers all the time. He's always number 1, and I always get who I want because I know he's not going to use it properly. Yeah. The more better you know how to do that, and you know how to play your lineups, and you really look at matchups and cornerback rankings, stuff like that, you'll do a lot better. I'm having a bad luck year in every league this year, so it just happens.
You're in the running.
I'm in the middle of all of them.
Yeah,
I'm not at the top.
You're at the bottom in one, so that's funny.
The wet booty league.
I want to say, there was a league. What league were you winless, and then you went on a run at the end of the year?
It was the League of Church Legends.
You went 0-7, and then you won your last 5 or something?
Yeah, I went 0-8 and changed my team to the 2008 Detroit Lions or whatever they were, and then I just decided to start popping off, and then I've won 5 straight, and I was like, and I still got the number 1 pick, because that was the year the next year I think I took CEH with the number 1 pick.
Yeah, and
it was a keeper league.
They have, there's been a lot of trades. Chan put in a text in the group chat that said, hey, let's trade. And next thing you know, like 4 or 5 different trades went off. And, it's interesting. I love fantasy football. It drives me absolutely nuts.
It does too. I'm doing it all day long.
It's, I look at, like Christian said, all day today I was on that waiver wire looking. And I was looking deep.
Yeah, I was like 80 players deep.
Looking deep because, again, a lot of running backs are hurt, but there's not a lot of running backs that are out there.
No, this is a bad running back.
And if you missed out on the 3rd-string Cleveland running back, you're screwed.
If he's there.
If you missed out on Alex Collins or you missed out on Chuba Hubbard or you missed out on, think about it. Stevenson for the Patriots is becoming a name that you can use, and he's only getting you 4 or 5 points a game.
That's why I've said it for years. Whoever you pick in fantasy, let's say you have, it won't work for Kareem Hunt. Let's say you have Chris Carson and Ezekiel Elliott. Well, in one league, I have Chris Carson and Zeke Elliott, and I have Tony Pollard, and now I have Rashad Penny. I'm picking him up in the waivers with my number 1 pick. In a different league, I'm number 1. There's so many flies in here. We're like beating them around. And I'm not saying you always have to do that, but if you have Derrick Henry and someone else, one of those two, you need their handicap. Yeah. Because worst case scenario, let's say this happened to me the other day. I was low on running back. I offered Chandler a deal. Obviously, it was a deal he said no to. I offered him an even better one, and I quickly took that back. I was like, nah, I didn't think about it. I need running back help. I almost offered McCaffrey for Pollard straight up.
Now
that I'm thinking about it, though, I was like, I need running back help. But if you have Pollard and he's on your bench and you want to give up, he's worth gold right now to people.
In the league, you're 0-6. Are you thinking about blowing it up?
Yeah, I'm thinking about next year already. But I'm going to continue to play every week.
But when I say blow it up, because you said you had CMC and you have this, you have that, consistently hurt. The last 2 years. Now you can say it's consistent now,
it is,
and especially Kittle,
and
stuff. And are you thinking about now? Would you take like what kind of deal? Like explain a deal that you're looking for if somebody was to offer you for CMC.
If somebody was offering me for CMC, even though he's hurt, I'm expecting similar range. Like, and I know it sounds crazy. People are like, well, he's going to be hurt, but I guarantee if he's back next year, he's the number one running back in fantasy. He still will be. So people are like, well, you're expecting on that. I would expect something like, I think you offered me something similar, but he was hurt, but it would be something along the lines of like, I
offered you Chubb.
Yeah, it would be something
I
like
offered
a
you Chubb
Chubb
and somebody else for CMC, and you said Chubb's out.
Yeah,
and I said, well, CMC is on IR,
but I need running. But the reason
you needed running back right away.
This week,
and
I think a lot of it for me would come to like CMC to me is not available because what he will be if he's healthy and he gets his shit together, I think he'll be fine. But me, like, I'm gonna pull up the league real quick before we get done here. I'll pull up the Web Booty League here. So I have on injuries right now. I literally have. Where is it? Roster. So I have injured right now McCaffrey, Kittle, and Chris Carson. Mm-hmm. I don't really have keepers. Yeah, I could keep Josh Allen, probably keeper. Potentially CeeDee Lamb. You keep 4 keepers in this league. One has to be a rookie. Yeah. I only have 1 rookie on my team, and that's Rondale Moore. So I'm in the kind of situation where I might see myself offering a Chris Carson, maybe a Kittle to somebody for a Jamar Chase, for a rookie from this year that I can carry into next year. Looking at trading for as Kadarius Toney, a rookie, something like that, right? Okay. But I'd like to keep McCaffrey. But like if someone's like, hey, give me Chris Carson and I'll give you Najee Harris, I'm 100% taking that deal for a rookie because I'll get rid of Chris Carson. Okay. But that's my thing. I'm looking into next year, but no matter what league I'm in, if I'm 0-10, I'm setting my lineup that week. Not with Geno Smith. I'm setting it with my best players because I always want to try to win because if I can stop someone from getting in the playoffs, I'm all about that. So, but again, probably if they're offering me deals now.
I mean, I just wanted to, something along those lines, like, what are you looking for? I think I offered you Goddard, too.
Yeah.
I think it was Chubb and Goddard.
Yeah. I liked the deal. It's just, for me, I was like, I had 7 deals. Just so you know, I had 6 different teams offer me a deal, and somebody else offered me 2. That's why I said 7. And I looked at them all, and I said, I think in the long run, keeping CMC doesn't help me this year, but I think it'll help me next year better, and I don't want to help them with that player. But if it was the same deal for Chris Carson, I'd take it, right? Or a different deal, like Chris Carson and Kittle, take them. Like at this point, I'm probably only going to move with CMC and just do my best, right? So, but again, I want to reiterate to him, like, fantasy football to me is very fun. I look forward to it every week. I look forward to it every day. You have to read, you have to listen, you have to play the waiver wire. I'm usually very bad in waivers. I always end up getting the wrong player. I think this week in waivers, we'll find out tomorrow. I think I'm going to be able to get the running back help in one of the leagues I've been looking for, and I hope it works out because I need to turn this ship around. My ship is sinking. It's fucking scary.
Yes. So, but other than that, I'm glad to be back. Thanks for doing it tonight instead of later in the week with somebody else.
And I'm glad the psych ward let you out.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough, At least once a year I go in and, sometimes they let me out right away and other times they make me stay the night.
Yep, so. They said you're a Bengals fan, so they kept you a week.
Yeah, so I will say this, fuck the Ravens, go Bengals. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Also, the Cowboys can't lose on a bye week. See you guys.
Yeah.